or even a Silver Sharp Mines, I think German Academy has a serious chance against Need HOTA Talk Me. But you know, the first map with the map roulette, that could set the tone for the whole series if they get a Gilneas. Probably not one of their strongest maps. So this first map is crucial, and it also gives them a confidence boost for the rest of the series also.
Yeah, very, very true. And speaking of the rest of the series, we are going to have our first game of the day, Need HOTA Talk Me versus German Academy. And we do have a poll up as well. 1 in chat if you think Need HOTA Talk Me is going to win this best of 3, or 2 if you think German Academy is going to be taking this best of 3. And as we mentioned, kind of going into this spin the wheel, Eddie, it is a big thing that the players need to be aware of, and not only do they need to be aware of if they do have the strategy for the map, but they also need to take a look at their compositions as well, because we did see a few composition changes yesterday.
Yeah, we definitely did. Especially when we look at Need HOTA Talk Me. That was the first point Likro brought up in the first game we got at Gilneas. We saw Raz, he opted away from the Rogue into the Druid. They could have the Guardian defend, and they simply didn't need the extra pressure from the Rogue in these teamfight-based maps. And I think we will see the same adaptation today. And also, I have been talking a bit behind the scenes with some of the other teams, and yesterday there was a few tactics that wasn't shown that is saved for this knockout stage. So I'm really, really excited for what you have in store coming later.
And I do want to point out, we spoke briefly about the wheel, and Likro, you mentioned about wanting to see Eye of the Storm. I do want to. We wanted Eye of the Storm yesterday. We wanted Eye of the Storm. It didn't show up. It was the only map in the map roulette to not show up. Okay, I want to point that out. It was the only map to not show up. Today, when production got together to basically make sure that everything was correct behind the scenes for the stream, they checked out the map roulette to make sure that it was still working. The first map that they landed on once they spun the wheel was Eye of the Storm. It was the first map they landed on, so that could have been the Eye of the Storm taken away from us, but I think we are actually ready to spin the wheel for these two teams here, for Need HOTA Talk Me and German Academy. Let's see exactly what is going to be kicking off Sunday, what is going to be kicking off finals day here in the Method Mayhem Battleground Invitational. Eddie, if you're either of these teams, what is the map that you want to appear here?
I would love to see some Arati Basin. This is probably Evidence's favorite map. There are so many bases, and the more bases there are, the more split the team has to be, and that, of course, means less team fighting. So I think this is the map they hope for. And yeah, of course, we can also see Silver Shard Mines as the same kind of idea. You have these 3 cards going on where you can always split the fight. So yeah, or Eye of the Storm, of course, which we didn't get yesterday.
And whilst we spin the wheel, let's get this wheel spinning. Likro, what would you want to see for either team here? I mean, obviously Eye of the Storm is the obvious choice, but is there a map that either of these teams are going to prefer over other ones?
I definitely think Need HOTA Talk Me would absolutely love a battle for Gilneas. I think that's probably one of their strongest maps, and I think Temple of Kotomogu. These are 2 of German Academy's weakest maps. On the contrary to Need HOTA Talk Me's probably their strongest. They've got the team fight. They know where to put their damage, and they understand how to work a team fight perfectly, almost flawlessly in these team fights. That being said, I don't think either team is too worried about any of the map pools. They're 2, as I said, 2 of the best teams in the world. I don't think they're necessarily concerned about it. I just think Gilneas and Temple would definitely favour Need HOTA Talk Me to Silver Sharp Mines or Eye of the Storm for German Academy.
Well, let's find out. Let's see exactly what happens. Let's spin this wheel. Obviously, you can see these are the choices here. This is a double elimination tournament as well, so whoever loses this map, whoever loses this best of 3 series is not going to be out of the tournament. They will be coming up through the losers bracket, and we end up with a Warsong Gulch. It almost seems perfect that the first map that we get here today on finals day is what many consider, or what many would say, is the OG of Battlegrounds. It was the first Battleground that was put into World of Warcraft, and there have been many that have come along since. We've obviously had Arathi Basin. You know, we can imagine the massive group fight that is Alterac Valley, but Warsong Gulch was really where it all started. It is the OG Battleground, and it makes sense that that's what we're starting on between these 2 teams, Eddie.
Yeah, and it's actually I'm actually quite excited to the adaptation going into this map. I think we saw yesterday when German Academy was playing the Twin Peaks versus our later team speedrun last percentage we see later, and they were sending the rogue in D with their Guardian, and I think we might see the same here where we have these situations where the Guardian is just waiting outside the flag room completely alone, but he doesn't have the information as we have. That's the power of a caster, you could say, right? And I really see there's going to be some great play and some great adaptations because I'm sure the teams have also watched each other's games, right? And I'm sure they're going to adapt to what they have seen.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's a massive part of the Crow is that they were able to see how these teams all played yesterday. They played each other at least once yesterday as well. So they will kind of know what to expect to a certain degree in regards to the players that are there. But a map like Warsong Gulch can kind of throw up a couple of surprises depending on what strategies they decide to go for. And I think it's almost a perfect map to open up a best of 3 series with, because realistically it can go either way. And as we mentioned, the first map is picked by this map roulette, if you will, by this wheel, and then the map that is following in this best of 3 is always going to be picked by the loser of the previous match. So again, an interesting setup for these two teams going into game number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And we actually saw German Academy versus Need HOTA Talk Me yesterday on Warsong Gulch, and that went down to the final. That did the whole distance. They went the whole 20 minutes. I definitely think they need to adapt their play styles differently, Need HOTA Talk Me, because in the last 10 minutes of the game yesterday, they seemed to not be as composed as earlier in the game, but just the German Academy just couldn't capitalise on the mistakes. It was too little, too late. So I definitely think they're now more prepared after yesterday on understanding what each are going to do. And obviously, they might throw in a couple of mix-up with the comps. You never know. So we'll have to find out, won't we?
Good to see some changes. I mean, taking a look at the polls here, it seems as though Twitch chat, 54.7% believe that Need HOTA Talk Me is going to take this best of 3. Before we go into the first match, I've got to ask, Eddie, who do you think is going to take it?
Hex, you always ask the greatest questions, and in this situation, my heart falls for the German side here. I'm going to go with German Academy. I think we will have an upset today.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Licro, I mean, beforehand you said you felt Need HOTA Talk Me was potentially going to take this one. Do you feel as though taking a look at Warsong Gulch as the first map, knowing this is a best of 3, does that change your feelings at all?
I definitely think German Academy's chances of taking the series have dramatically improved now. You still don't know, but I expect massive plays. I expect both teams to be on complete form. I don't think they're worried. I don't think either team are worried. They've got so much confidence in their own ability that they know that they can get this job done.
It's one of those maps where I think Warsong Gulch, as we mentioned, is very much I don't want to say it's a neutral map, because that's not, I don't think that's the way to call it, but it definitely does seem as though it's the perfect map. And we do see here, obviously, the setups looking very, very similar on either side. Gotta say, there is a couple of changes. We do have an Armors Warrior on the side of Need HOTA Talk Me versus a Demon Hunter on the side of German Academy, but look at those two Guardian Druids. Killy Bear, Fowler Fanboy, we saw what work they did yesterday. It was absolutely incredible. Let's get some hype in chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see some hype, because this is the first game of Finals Day between Need HOTA Talk Me, German Academy. Licro, talk us through these opening minutes here in Warsong Gulch.
I instantly want to take your attention to German Academy. They've opted to take Mackie on the Mistweaver today. Personally, I absolutely love that choice. Mackie probably is the greatest Mistweaver to ever touch RBG, and they've very much evened up the comps. They're super similar. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. I imagine that they're going to just try and position themselves. They're going to try and get a map position, maybe try and get one early kill to try and get maybe even an early pick. But I imagine Avidance is going to go stealth. He's going to be looking for Raz, try and get him out, maybe even try and get Oxy. Right now it's going to be a little bit of a stalemate, a little bit of a standoff until one team can see an opportunity to pounce on the others.
Yeah, and also looking at another side of the German Academy team is the fourth bringing of Karim. This player, Karim, has been with this team for many seasons. He's not always that active, but today they opted into him, and I really like it on this flag map as well. We talked about it yesterday when we saw Revsi playing against German Academy and really putting pressure on the Guardian. And we see a kill on his baller here. This is very early and actually brings a lot of momentum to need HOTA Talk Me here. They want to push for Karim. They want to stop his eyes so Killy can get into the enemy base and be near the flag. Because we know Fowler Boy, there's no Demon Hunter on enemy tank. He has a free pass here. Evidence is helping him as well, and Artesia is lurking, but I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, they've already. Hezbollah did actually go down just for a moment, but he's got back up. It's still early in the fight, in the game, sorry. So I don't think it matters actually too much. However, like you said, they've got a Demon Hunter, and Demon Hunters for flag maps and tempo are amazing. If they get they got an early kill onto Raz, and that relieves so much pressure for them now. You know, Fowler Fanboy probably won't even have to pop the Incarn. There's no threat of the smoke bomb kidney
Fowler
now.
Doesn't have the flag.
Exactly. He doesn't have it. I'm sorry to take your word here.
Artesia picked it. My apologies.
Yeah.
I imagine they're doing it. Maybe it's trying to get a little bit of a bait to see if they can even try and get across the map. I wouldn't be surprised if Artesia even tries just to drop the flag. Maybe as a little bit of a bait, but you know, this is a classic Avidan strategy. Have someone else who's not the tank pick the flag.
That's a great ring.
Aye, that absolutely is. That stops him. That stopped all the momentum here, Kex. And you know, I'm just trying to figure out: are they going to try and get the swap in the base, or are they going to try and bait them?
Oh, this is very clever. Artesia is going for the cap. This will force Killy to pick. Artesia can then drop the flag, and they have Killy inside. And Fowler Fanboy is waiting in enemy base. They're not even going for the cap. This is pure bait. But of course, if Killy doesn't pick it, then they will get it. It's a very smart adaptation.
Sponsored down, by the way.
That's bad.
That's very bad now. Artesia, they've got no sack available for him now. So if they pounce on him, there is no save. Yeah, Killy's going to pick now. I'm going to expect to see Artesia drop the flag maybe soon. I don't think he's going to want to try and tank it. He dropped it, so they're going to get the return. And now German Academy has free reign on Killy now. This is an absolute fantastic play. That's what you love to see, and that's what we were expecting from these teams.
And look how far Killy's come out. Pretty much the entire team of German Academy was inside their own base. The only person in between Killy and capping the flag here is Avidance. Avidance is probably going to win the race. Maybe not even looking at taking Killy Bear. We do see Fowler. Fowler has actually moved over to the other side. I do apologize. So we do have Fowler waiting there as well. So maybe this was kind of their play all along. They knew that Artesia was not going to be able to get all the way with that flag. There was going to be some sort of stoppage there. But now Killy Bear is being locked down in the middle of the map. We can see German Academy start to move outside of their base, and Fowler is just waiting to pick up that flag. That was a huge bait on the side of German Academy in my eyes.
And it's absolutely fantastic. Killy now has no Incarn. Killy's in trouble. The Bark skin's already come out. The team's connecting. Boomchin knows that Fowler Fanboy's going to be going for the pick soon, so maybe he's going to try and do a sneaky Incarn. Cyclone.
Oh, he's going to die, maybe. Oh, he's waiting for backup. Oh, he did trinket!
Yeah, he drinked it. Oh, this is bad now. Fowler Fanboy, he's popped the Incarn, so he'll be able to get across. Killy half health, but Karim and Trajkovic are right on top of him. I think Fowler Fanboy should be able to get across. He's got Makian sponsored for the ring and the freedom, but Raz is lurking just behind him in the shadows, waiting for the Incarn to drop, and then there's going to be a big go from them there.
Honestly, really well played from German Academy here. The adaptation with the Artesia forcing the flag pick from Killy. They can have the uptime on Killy. Killy is dropping down. Can we get a switch to him? He has no trinket. Only one wall left. No incarnation. Fowler Fanboy is taking damage as well, but he has two healers and Avidance. The peeler of peels on him. This is very tight, but I actually feel like Fowler Fanboy is in a better spot, even though he's taking damage.
Absolutely. And that's a fantastic ring once again at the entrance, but Fowler taking so much damage. He's being currently trained, I believe, by Raz and the Warrior, the Arms Warrior on the side of Need HOTA Talk Me, but Killy is also in trouble, managing to escape from who he was taking a lot of damage from there. Dixie going down on the side of Need HOTA Talk Me, so this gives even more room for Fowler Fanboy to kind of run away. The Door of Shadows coming in from Avidance, trying to keep up, sponsored by the way with him as well. This is actually looking like a really good position for German Academy, if only because Fowler Fanboy is going to have less stacks than Killy Bear does right now. The only thing that we need to keep an eye on, though, is the offense from German Academy. If Killy Bear can kind of sit back, he does have one extra stack, so it's not too much, but that could mean all the difference at the start of this map. We're 5 minutes in, we still haven't seen a cap. German Academy, you've got to say, are on top, but it all depends on how effective their offense is in getting this flag return from Killy Bear.
Yeah, and Hippie needs to make sure he keeps Karim up. Being as the Demon Hunter, he had so much pressure on him, but Raz is now connecting onto Fall of Fanboy during the Emerald Sleep. However, I don't think they're going to be able to get too much done. They've got Boomchin here, they've got Maki here, sponsored by the way here, and Avidan, so I don't see too much happening. All Fall of Fanboy has to do, stay around the pillars, go a little bit around, stay at the line of the two Boomkins, and he should survive this. But Killy's still under quite a lot of pressure. Trajkovic is right on top of him. Karim and Hasbulla are dead though, however, so that's going to be a 25-second timer until they're back, and then the offense is reset. So I'd say Killy right now is safe, and the German Academy needs to make sure that they can survive on defense for now.
German Academy, pretty much their entire offense is down. Raz does die on the side of Neat HOTA Talk Me, so that looks like the offense on the side of Neat HOTA Talk Me is going to kind of also stagger even. Ironically stuttering on nearly saying the word stutter. German Academy, they seem as though their entire offensive side has kind of almost dropped down. Trajkovic has dropped down, Shakes has dropped down. But on the side of their defense, take a look at Sponsored, take a look at Maki. Fowler's still looking strong. They've got Avidance there, still looking strong. I would probably say between these two teams, German Academy has the stronger defense, but at the same time, it feels like Neat HOTA Talk Me has the stronger offense. So who is going to cancel out who first, Eddie?
I mean, I agree, and maybe not even like this. I would actually say that the tactics brought forth by German Academy is way superior. Seeing the Artesia pick and forcing the kill, I would actually say they're playing really well when it comes to the macro. But the micro parts, they are dying way more, and I feel like just this is what we talked about. Neat HOTA Talk Me. Their team fights there, they just have a little edge here, and that's why that German Academy are struggling and dying. But again, this is actually a complete draw right now. There's no pressure on either tanks. Both offensive teams are coming in, but again, like and we had 9 stacks. We had 1-shot potential.
Yeah, and I do want to point something out very, very clearly. We obviously saw Neat HOTA Talk Me in German Academy yesterday in a Warsong Gulch, and the one thing that was very, very obvious almost immediately from the start was that German Academy, their defense didn't seem to be as strong as Neat HOTA Talk Me. However, this change over to Maki on the Monk Healer, you pointed this out, Licro. Just how important is that for them on this defense when they have that Mistweaver Monk, especially because it is Maki?
Well, of course, Maki just knows when to press his buttons the best. He's going to be putting brilliant ringer pieces down just to make sure that Fall of Fanboy can get away safe and prevent them, and then Avidance can come in, swoop in, shadow step them, cheap shot everyone, maybe throw out a blind on one of the goes. I think this is such a strong defense team coming in from German Academy, and personally I think it's a better defense maybe than even Neat HOTA Talk Me. But as you touched on, Neat HOTA Talk Me have the damage. They have consistent uptime. But I love the Demon Hunter choice from German Academy, and personally I think that could be a win condition for them.
I think German Academy's attack here was neutralized. We see Neat HOTA Talk Me opted into the 3 DPS defensive position. They only have Hippie solo healing offensive. That meant that Karim died, Hasbulla is dying, Trajkovic died 30 seconds ago as well. The attack is neutralized. So maybe we need the stacks to go even higher. We see here Neat HOTA Talk Me, Warlock, Warlock, DK and Warrior in D. Some of the strongest killer classes, especially when you're a single priest.
Yeah,
Fowler dropping super low. He's been pushed out into the open. This is not a position you want to be in as a flag carrier, especially with 12 stacks. Trying to get back into the base. The Cocoon coming out does a good job of that. The key one, we do want to keep an eye on the health bars of Killy Bear and Fowler Fanboy because they are obviously the flag carriers. Outside of that, though, you want to keep an eye on Maki and Sponsored, by the way, on the side of German Academy. And I believe Blasevic and Ace on the side of Neat HOTA Talk Me because they are the ones that are going to be healing up the flag carrier and the defensive players that are there. If either of those two drop on the healer side, that could spell the end for the defense of Neat HOTA Talk Me or German Academy. It's almost as important as a flag carrier at this point.
But look at this kiting. They know exactly when to move. They go straight into Daki, but Avidance is going to take care of him, and Fall of Fanboy is going to get away. I just wanted to point out what Maki did there. He was in a full root beam, but he knew that they were going to kite back upstairs. He left his TP on, so he was able to connect instantly back to Fall of Fanboy, and that's just Maki's experience for years and years of playing at the very top level. And then Karim with Berserk going in. Killy's going to drop the hunt, and Trajkovic with a Convoke. I imagine that's the sack. The sacrifice goes out and bubble for Blasevic. Personally, I think he's going to survive here, but now they're on a timer after sacks falling now, and they're going to have uptime, but they did get TP down into room, and I just saw that Karim did DC classic Demon Hunters, but you know, he'll be back momentarily. Fowler fanboy's in big trouble. They're connected. He's going to go down.
Fowler. Yeah, he got absolutely trained. He got caught in that spear, and Killy goes in for the cap. Need HOTA Talk Me takes it, and I think that spear on the side of Dixie on the Need HOTA Talk Me was absolutely crucial. And I think that's one of the things that they really have here in favor over German Academy is they just have that extra layer of control. However, Karim, the amount of damage they can do with that hunt, especially on a Bear Druid, if they can get their uptime up. On one of these Guardian Druids, then it's basically over for them. The amount of damage they can put out in that short frame of time. But if you get caught out in the open, as we saw Fowler there, then it's going to be an absolute dream for the Armors Warrior.
Yeah. And to mention what you said earlier, Kex, about the Monk, we saw really well played from Mackies with the ring throughout the game. Sadly, couldn't save him in the end. But also, I would like to point out the Warlock from Need HOTA Talk Me. This Warlock is single-handedly teleported the 3 bursting enemies out and away from his tank and actually saved Killian, giving them the cap. So I would also like to give big credit to the Warlock and their defensive play, saving Killian in the last fight we saw.
Yes, for absolute sure. Right now, you can see Trajkovic has picked up the flag. They're going to try and get across, but it looks like he's going to drop. He's on low health, unless one of the healers can connect to him. I imagine he's in their base, and after his auto-proc frenzy regen, he's going to go down, and the game is now essentially reset. Raz took care of him, cleaned it up. Shikes is there. Maybe he can keep a hold of Raz, opting not to. Probably going to go back and put all his support for the healers.
Yeah, this is not a position you want to be in on the side of German Academy. We're seeing Hasbulla dropping, Trajkovic also dropping, Killybear currently waiting for the perfect opportunity to pick the flag. This is going to be a little bit of a struggle for German Academy to kind of balance themselves out here. They don't want any more death staggered. They want to have their whole team ready and available. We do see Trajkovic coming back. Hasbulla is going to be back very, very shortly. Fowler fanboy, obviously on the side of Need HOTA Talk Me, is currently waiting to pick up that flag. Trajkovic also going over as well. And I'm interested to see this change in tactic here where we do seem to have almost a almost like an off pick on these flags. Raz defending, Avidance coming down as well. They're going to be searching out each other. If Avidance can get a kill on Raz here, that would be super impressive. And also, if Raz can get Avidance, that would also be incredible. It would really stop this offense coming in. Fowler fanboy picking up Raz, immediately stunning him out. Avidance there to potentially stop anything coming up, and Avidance does get him. Opens up on him. Is it going to be enough? I don't think so. But in comes Fowler fanboy. Convoke the spirits. Raz is going to have to do something special to survive, and actually does manage to get away here. Really well played by Raz. But Fowler fanboy is running out through the main entrance with the flags. We currently don't see Killybear picking up the flag on the side of Need HOTA Talk Me, and this is something that we've kind of discussed before, is how important it is for you to almost get the second pick on these flags in Warsong Gulch.
Yeah, definitely, and we saw that as well. I was quite nervous for what German Academy was gonna do here. Now we saw Fowler got a pick. He popped Incan. Now he is crossing the map, and we will most likely see a pick from Killy as well here in the next 15 seconds. I was unsure if they could get him across since Raz was defending, not helping Killy this time. And they are ahead, so they just need to sit the tank all game, and Killy can pick late, but. This looks very, very bad for Fowler fanboy, actually. Raz gets a free sprint here as well. He can follow him on the roof. Killy is out. This is a very bad situation for Fowler.
Yeah, and no one from German Academy is even turning back for Killy. I expected Karim to be way hotter. No, he's going to survive here. He's got his wall. You can see Mackie coming up the tunnel. There's no problem for him. It's just a bit more of an annoyance. At least they know where Raz is. I don't like these stuns now. He's put them on DR, maybe preventing a little bit of a go, but they're connecting onto Killy now, and this is going to be big damage. You see the balls coming out. The sharpen goes out from Daki onto Fowler. Trajkovic with the convoke.
They're dying, German Academy. Yeah, but they're dying. They only, again, we see the situation. They have one healer. Oh, he'd be solo heal. It is impossible. This is insanity. They're just sending the whole team into the meat grinder of Need HOTA Talk Me, and the only thing they get is a one-way trip to the graveyard. And it's honestly, it's just a little sad adaptation. We saw Raz, he had 2 healers and the tank alone. That should not be allowed.
Yeah, although take a look, Sponsored is also crossing that. Mackie is on the other side of the map as well. This almost looks to be an all-in on the side of German Academy. Pushing forward, is it going to be too late? Trajkovic has dropped down. Artesia is getting super low as well. But will this be enough? Because Need HOTA Talk Me are just going to put 10 men on the flag carrier, and it's going to be 10 versus 9, and you're not realistically going to win that fight unless something special happens.
Sorry, Kex here, but Oxy is actually pushing right now for Fowler fanboy. If we can get a POV quickly from Oxy here, he's going alone to the enemy base. He noticed the 3 healers going offensive from German Academy. Now Fowler fanboy can kite out the boom kill, but this is gonna be a good race.
No, Oxy is on the defense here.
Oh, he is. Sorry, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Oxy's currently on the defense. Yeah, just trying to take a look. But we do see Boomchin on the other side. Avidance is with Fowler, so this is now an 8 versus 9 in the opposition base. Taking a look at the health bars there. There is no healer, which means that this does potentially mean that German Academy could push forward. But again, the fact that they are missing Avidance, Boomchin on the side of, obviously on the side of Nita Tokmi, pushing against Fowler, trying to at least get them to question this so Fowler doesn't get a free, almost like a free defense here on this flag. But again, you've got to say this all in from German Academy. This is what they need to do. Raz coming over as well. So now we have Raz and Boomchin. It's Druid and Rogue versus Druid and Rogue. What is going to happen there? The only problem is that Fowler is going to be taking more damage because of that flag capture, because of the flag stacks coming in. And you take a look, Artesia dropping super low. The health bars on the side of Nita Tokmi looking super clean. This fight here could decide the game, because if Fowler drops 2-3 with 4 minutes left, less than 4 minutes left,
no way.
That's got to be it.
No.
Yeah,
Avidance can't do enough. Avidance can't do enough. It's too little, too late. They should have identified it earlier. Maybe he does. He is a Guardian Druid. They are absolutely immortal. He's going to get the sponsored. He's going to get the sponsored, and they're no more in. They're not in trouble anymore. They're going to collect to the graveyard. I mean, unless you get the sack, the bubble sack. So that's a massive cooldown. The next go, they are in big trouble. They need to kill Boomchin or Raz right now. Elsewise, the next go on him is going to be absolutely devastating.
Look at the health bars on German Academy.
Yeah.
The offense is completely stopped. They've lost players because Sponsored went back. Because Sponsored went back, they just didn't have the healing. Mackie went back as well. They went back defensively because they knew it was all over. But again, 3 minutes left on this map. They've got to do something to push in on Killy Bear, whilst also somehow keeping Fowler Fanboy alive, which is a pretty terrible situation to be in Warsong Gulch.
Well, it's all well and nice having two or three healers in offense, because you know your offense isn't going to die. But you've got to identify when people are missing at this level. And honestly, I expected them to notice it a lot sooner. But you can't have two healers in offense if your DPS are just doing nothing to the tank. Killy has seemed to be pretty safe all game. And again, I expected so much more.
Yeah, but they have the momentum. German Academy is pushing. Boomchin didn't die. Raz died, so he had a rest time and has to cross again. Boomchin got away, so we only have Fowler Fanboy here with Evidence again. I assume Boomchin is going to push in, but the offensive is going again. 2 healers and the full squad going in after Killy. They have 2 minutes soon, and I would say it is enough time. We see the stacks here on Fowler Fanboy. 8 stacks on him, that means 8 stacks on Killy as well as the tick at the same time. I would actually give the advantage right now to German Academy, even though they're behind.
Yep, I mean, this is a perfect game to open up a best of 3. Obviously, yesterday was all best of 1, so we do see Raz coming up on Fowler Fanboy and Oxy as well. So once again, this could end up being a situation where we see Mackie and Sponsored dropping back, which is not what you want to see. You want to see them on the offense. We do see Mackie here. We do see Sponsored there as well. They are well on the other side of the map. Fowler Fanboy has to survive this, but with 8 stacks, is he going to be able to? Avidance needs to play out of his skin to potentially help deny this. Boomchin coming in as well. This could potentially be it. If Fowler survives this, it's going to be an absolutely incredible achievement, but Boomchin absolutely racing forward. There's the Convoke the Spirits from Oxy. Is it going to be enough? It doesn't seem to be. Avidance coming in to potentially defend it. But again, dropping super low. Fowler dropping super low. He does drop. There we go. Killy Bear goes in with the cap. That makes it 2-3 with less than 90 seconds left. You've got to say Nitos Tokmi have taken game 1 here. And as we see German Academy players leaving, they know that it is all over. A fantastic game from both of these teams, but you've got to say, HOTA Tokmi played that almost perfectly in the last 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They played this textbook exactly how they should. But I don't know. I feel like the offensive German Academy, they just didn't do anything fast enough. I felt like they were too slow. I mean, Demidar absolutely shut them down in defense. Again, I mentioned yesterday that Death Knight is such a strong class at taking players out of the game, and even as such a mobile class as a Demon Hunter, if you can't connect and your team isn't helping turn around, sometimes it's even beneficial just to kill the Death Knight, so your healers and your DPS can get through unscathed.
That's very, very true. And I think you mentioned it a couple of times there, Eddie. When you take a look at sort of what we had on the defensive side, where you had just Hippie across the other side of the map trying to help out the offense and leaving 2 healers behind, do you feel as though that was potentially a tactical mistake? Should they have gone with the double healer on the offense, or do you feel as though HOTA Tokmi's defense was just too solid regardless of what German Academy did?
I mean, I would say that in some, it's always hard to judge, right? Because it's a race in the end. But I will say that it was definitely the third time we saw the priest going in alone. That was a mistake. But I also say it was a big mistake sending all three healers in the end. We saw yesterday when we had the other flag game that one warlock and one healer could and the guardian could easily survive the boomy rogue attacking. And I felt like maybe we could see the same scenario here, but they opted into the solo evidence defense. And I know it's hard because need HOTA talk me. Of course, if they see one healer going back, then they're defending. Everyone is adapting on the fly depending on where the enemy is moving on the map. This is why these games are so intense and so hard to predict. But I still think you're correct here, Kex. I think it was a mistake, at least in the first tries where we had the priest alone dying.
Yeah, and would you agree with that, Licro? Would you have rather have seen one of the healers stay back, let Avidance move forward into the offense there to potentially cause a little bit more problems for the defense of Need HOTA Talk Me? Or, again, do you feel as though Need HOTA Talk Me just had a really solid defensive round? We mentioned the DK, how effective that DK was yesterday in kind of doing the little things that almost go unseen on stream, whereas today, very, very obvious, causing absolute mayhem in trying to stop the Demon Hunter from stepping forward, which we know are very effective against Guardian Druids.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with what Eddie's saying and what you're saying, Kex. Sometimes I feel like they just need to play a little bit more conventional German Academy.